Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So today I am going to give a review to the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's and DC's latest film that just dropped in theaters and on HBO Max. So I basically thought it was super fun, right? I loved all the characters and stuff, but there was not really a lot of urgency and pacing to the story. But I'll get into more of that as we go. But make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you somewhere in between? I am going to issue a spoiler warning. There will be full spoilers in this video. With all that being said, let's get into it. My main issue with this movie is that there is zero urgency. There is absolutely no urgency to this movie at all. The pacing is a real issue. I really enjoyed the movie once it got to the main squad actually going on the mission they were sent on in the very beginning of the movie, but it took way too long. I don't think they all get together until like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie. So basically the full squad that the movie mainly focuses on is only together for about, let's see, 120, it's like 215 the runtime, so that's like what, like 45 minutes, 55 minutes, somewhere in that range. Sorry, I can't really do quick math off the top of my head, but so a large majority of the runtime of this movie is they're not together. And so I think that's a really big issue. Starro is not, we don't see Starro until about halfway through the movie, and Starro does not actually start doing things until 25 minutes left in the movie. And the stakes with like the rest of the Monte Carlo government was contingent on Starro. And so basically there's no stakes in the movie until like the last 20 minutes. There's no urgency. There's nothing really that's pressing our characters, trying to move them forward. There's nothing. And I get Starro's not a very complicated villain, so you kind of have to limit his screen time a little bit. But it's just the story itself is not that big, right? Like there's not these huge stakes, right? Admittedly, and so, but there's still no urgency. It just takes way too long for me to get into what I really enjoyed about this movie, in my personal opinion. Just the pacing is just awful. I think they maybe tried to go too in depth on a few characters' backstories. Probably just one too many. So it kind of got slowed down a little bit. Anytime they traveled, they gave this very in-depth, slow, drawn-out backstory for our characters, which like I get. Like you want to emotionally invest in our characters, but not every single one has to have a long, drawn-out, very explained and detailed backstory for that to happen. These characters are fun. They're crazy. They're very enjoyable in their own right without this backstory. Yes, it was nice to see, right? Like in a vacuum, all their individual backstories. However, I don't think we needed that for each and every single one of the members on the main squad, and especially not for the ones that just died immediately. Another thing is there are just too many characters in this movie, and I think that plays into the problem of why it took so long for us to get to the main squad. Basically, they hyped up having all these characters, and I know they said that there was going to be a lot of deaths in this movie, but it's definitely not a trickle down, and there's just too many people in this movie. And to kill Captain Boomerang as early as they did, I really felt like that was not cool. They definitely should just he should have been part of the main squad, and stuff like that. There's just way too many people in this movie for us to try to get emotionally invested in, and then we're just kind of hollow and empty. And I get not that we weren't supposed to get emotionally attached to all of them, but it just seems like a huge overload. And the one that really bothered me was Captain Boomerang, because I understand he's not the most useful, but he is super cool. He was the biggest brand name, I guess, out of all the ones that died on the very beginning. It just felt like just way too many people in this movie at the beginning for us not to get into our main squad very quickly. So pros, I absolutely loved everyone on the main squad. Bloodsport was super cool. His guns and his weapons were a little not explained very well, but that's okay. Peacemaker, John Cena does a great job. He's super funny. Ratcatcher 2, I actually found myself really liking. Admittedly, she's probably my favorite character in this entire movie, right up there with Harley. King Shark's awesome. He's super funny. I really like Polka Dot Man. Like I said, I absolutely love Harley. I think Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is probably one of the best comic book movie castings ever. I didn't necessarily like that they keep trying to develop her. I mean, we all love Harley for how crazy and everything like that. She's overcome the Joker, so I don't think they really needed to do all that. But that's besides the point. That's a very, very, very minor nitpick. And I really like Colonel Rick Flag. His death was really, really sad. Him and Peacemaker's little fight was super cool. I was actually very sad whenever Rick Flag died. So I loved everyone on the main squad. I think they did a great job with all of them. I just wish we would have had more time with them all together as a main squad. It was super funny. The humor's great. James Gunn always does a great job with the humor. It definitely feels like a James Gunn film, so that's a good thing. I thought the language was appropriate, or I mean, obviously they use a lot of cuss words, but they use it in the right spots where they use it appropriately, as opposed to having appropriate language. That's a very different sentence. But I thought it was super funny. Almost all the jokes landed. I really liked it. There was cool action scenes for each of all the main members of the main squad. You know, Harley has the thing where she like escapes the where she escapes the palace after she kills the president. Peacemaker and Rick Flag have that great fight. Bloodsport has a lot of cool action scenes. Polka Dot Man does his thing. Ratcatcher 2, super cool. King Shark's funny. So there's a lot of cool action scenes for all the main members. So everyone gets their individual moment to shine in the movie, which sometimes in these ensemble films really does not happen. But they do a great job of highlighting it here. Like I said, the ensemble feel was great. Once the band got together, the band was great. Like I said, it took a little longer than I would want for the band to get together. Once they did, it was fantastic. James Gunn has this knack for nailing these group movies and stuff like that. He does a fantastic job with that. He does great in the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He does it great here. And I think the amount of violence and the way the violence was portrayed was very good as well. I'm not someone who is like, oh my gosh, like too gory or whatever. But there are a lot of movies that, you know, cross the line, in my opinion. I just don't really want to watch it. It's a little unsettling and everything like that. But I think this movie does a fantastic job with that. Overall, it's a super fun James Gunn clinic of great cast of characters that were super interesting and enjoyable, but with no stakes and very inconsistent pacing. There was no urgency to the story, so I was very invested in these characters. There's just really nothing going on for them, so I couldn't get as invested in this movie as I really wanted to, considering how much I really enjoyed every single one of the characters. Rating 8 out of 10. I think it soars, excels, masters the character side of this story, but with a honestly below average story. It does get dragged down to the 8 out of 10. I would definitely recommend it. Go watch it on HBO Max or in theaters, whatever you want to do. I personally watched it on HBO Max, but that's just because I wanted to save money. But definitely watch it. I would definitely, you don't need any previous knowledge of the DCEU or anything like that, so don't feel like you have to catch up or anything like that. Just go watch it for a fun 2-hour and 15-minute joyride. So thank you for watching today's video. I always appreciate all the support. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Check out all the link content. You guys have a great rest of your day.